Alright, it is now day 3, and I've decided to rename our just project that we're working off of Learning Swift. I previously had day 1 for day 1, and then day 2 I was still using the day 1 project. So we'll start a new project here, and I've just taken out the stuff that we don't need from the starting template. So if you want to kind of match up what I've got here, you can do that. And I've also created a class called Character. It's going to be sort of based off of some of the artwork I drew for my latest website, which I'll show you guys real quick. It's a site called GameArtPartners.com, and if you want to find some of the free artwork, go over here to Game Art Characters and free. And this bro is kind of based off, well, you can guess based on that name right there. But I've got a few of these guys. I'm going to be using the one that looks a little bit suspiciously like Dylan from the Predator series. You'll see him pop up in just a little bit. And what I've done is I've put in just 3 images here. We won't worry about animating this guy at all, but we'll just use different textures and test kind of different states for him, which is a typical thing you would do in a game. It's your protagonist, your antagonist, enemies, whatever they are. They're going to change states after a while. They might be walking, they might be firing, they might be idle. So what we'll do is we'll use our bro class, and we'll just kind of swap out some of the images through here. And this class won't be that different than some of the classes or the destroyer class that we had in the previous couple of days. And in fact, in a moment here, what I'm going to do is bring in some of that same code that we were working with before. And just to give you an idea real fast of what's ahead, we are going to set up that class to respond to different states. And also we're in our main game scene class here. We're going to play with our update statement a little bit. We're going to test to see what nodes on the stage are of a certain type class, our bro class. And then if it is that class, we'll update. We'll call a update statement inside of there, and for the most part, we're really just going to be looking at a lot of things in the output window. But there's a lot of or substantial amount of code that you'll probably use throughout your entire life as a game programmer. So let's go ahead and get started. And again, like I said, I'm going to just for right now copy in some of the code that we've already seen before, and I'll do this right now. So we're going to import Sprite Kit into our bro class. Now the class name is not Destroyer. Of course, I just copied and pasted that from what I had before. So I'm going to change that to bro. Got to close that guy off right there, and it is going to want us to put in that a little bit of magic, whatever that means. And then here's the important part, our init statement. And we are going to init with an image name string. All right, so that's going to equal the one of these values, bro fire, bro hurt. Well, I guess we'll start with bro idle. And then let's see, we don't really need physics body this time around, and that'll be something that we might look into later. So really that kind of just gets us back to the bare bones of what we had before. And then over here in our game scene, let's go and bring this guy into the stage here. So again, we will declare a let's see, bro node, which sounds funny, and we'll set this and we'll make it basically it's an optional variable. It hasn't been initialized with a value yet, hence that question mark back there. But we're now declaring this node of type bro, that's our class, to be used in any of these possible functions right here. Okay, so it's not local to any particular function. And then let's just go ahead and add this guy onto the stage. So we'll call this bro node is going to equal bro, and there's where we put in there our image named, and we'll call this bro idle. Okay, so that's going to find that asset in the image assets catalog. And then bro node, as we point out in some of the other videos, we can kind of get away with either the question mark or the exclamation point there, which is the forced unwrapping of a value, and I would say that either one is quite safe to use right here because, well, we just initialized it and we know that it's got a value at that point. So, but you know, go with either one. And I see from my notes from the other day, I actually had a exclamation point after that CG point make, where we actually set the position of it. So this is going to make it put it at a value of 300 and 600 on the stage, and then finally we're just going to add this guy. So now we're almost right back to where we were before, and again, could go with either one of those. And I think if we were to run this, we would. Where am I getting that? Oh, fine. We don't want that. All right, well, if we're going to go with one exclamation point, let's go ahead and put both in there. Okay, so now let's just give this a quick little test. No, it's already in use. Great. Oh. You think maybe I want to quit it if it's already in use? Sorry, I am the only one developing on this computer, right? So if I hit build twice, maybe you just shut down the other one. All right, so there we go. We got him on stage, and boy, I want to play this guy in something or other. He looks like a fun little dude, huh? All right, so now we're set up, and let's go and go back over here to our bro class and set up some potential states for him. Okay, so we're going to come over here and type enum. We'll call this bro states, and we'll make the type of these values be an integer. And now there's a few ways you could go about doing this. You could say case idle, and then just come right down here and say case hurt. And I think our last case was he was firing, right? So that's one way of doing it. And if you did it like that, you could also put in here, well, by default this will start at 0 for these numbers, and then the next one would equal 1, and so on like that. But you don't even have to type that, all right? If you did want to make the starting value be something like 100, then what's going to happen is this one will be 101, this one will be 102, and so on like that. But you don't have to actually say equals 101. You just have to do give it a starting value like so. Another thing you could do is you could be a little bit maybe more concise and put these on a line like this, fire, and that works just as well. Okay, and you know, since we don't really have to have this this idle value start at 100, we can just get away with doing this, okay? And you know, this is something that would obviously be useful for, you know, what you're looking at for, just kind of defining a state that that doesn't have isn't locked into being a number, okay? Because if you have to remember, well, state 0 was the character firing, you know, you might be able to remember that when you are you know, in the throes of development, but you know, 6 months later when you have to update your app and you know, you kind of forgot what those numbers all mean or what they're associated with, that's when having these like kind of literal states being defined helps you out a lot, okay? Because you know, hey, idle means he's idle. All right, now let's do a little bit of a test down here. Well, first off, we should make a variable that handles the current state of the class or character. And so what we're going to write here is current state and equals bro states, and then we can just put in here either hurt, idle, or fire. Okay, and it would probably make sense if we just had it start off at idle to begin with. All right, so if you kind of want to give this a little bit of a test, you can come down here into your init statement, write print, and then the state is, and then we're going to swap this out with the variable value. And this is kind of interesting. If we just put in here current state, the kit, or I should say the compiler is not going to argue with us. I still keep wanting to put that exclamation point. But watch what happens in the output window. So we're going to build this real quick. And here we go. The state is enum value. All right, well, let's try it like this. We're going to write to raw. And do it one more time. All right, now it says the state is 0. And if you did just want to, give this a little bit of a shot here, so let's say idle equals 899, and then let's make the initial state be hurt. So what we should be seeing from this window is now 900. So let's give it a test. And hey, sure enough, I was right about that. All right, so let's undo that. And so you can, if you wanted to, test the value, the integer value of those states, but most likely what you're just going to be doing is testing the state itself. Is it idle? Is the character hurt? Something like that. And that's actually, let's make that one of the next things we do right now. So we'll go over here and we'll write a function, and let's see, we'll test state. Okay. So we're not going to pass anything into this function, and we're not going to return anything out of it. So it's a relatively simple function. So it's going to execute the code inside of here, and we're going to write a switch statement, and the value that we're testing is going to be our current state, and then inside of here we're going to put in our various case conditions. So we would write case and then dot idle, and you see it actually started to fill that in for you there. And then on the lines following that, we can put in something to do if it equals idle. Okay, so and then we could also put in here dot hurt, and I believe what would happen if I let's see. Oh, yes, well, I'll give you that much. I did forget those. I think it would complain if I didn't put in all of the states here without a default value. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that in here as well. So I could leave off the fire state, but as long as I had that default value in there, I shouldn't run into any problems. So now I'm not sure what its case. So I should have at least. Oh, right. Well, okay, yeah, we'll do that. Well, I'll give you that much. So we'll print out here idle, and let's just copy this. And even though I'm including the default in there, I'll go ahead and put in the fire case as well. And all right, now we could call this. And what the heck, why not? Let's go ahead and do it. See what it returns. So we'll go over here to our game scene, and then after we have added our child, our bro node, we'll go over here and say bro node test state, and decide to put that question mark in there. And yeah, all right, it returned idle. Okay, so went over here and went to this, called that function, ran through here, and sure enough, it picked out idle as the current state and spit that out in the output window. So let's do this next. Let's actually advance our state anytime that we test this. Okay, and actually maybe a better function name then would be a step state, as it step through it. And so now what we'll do is we'll say current state is going to equal hurt. Okay. So anytime we call this, it's going to, and that this equals idle, we could do something, based on it still being idle at this point, all right? And I could put a little note here. It says still idle, but not for long. And then immediately after that code, we advance the state to the next progression here, which would be that he got hurt. Now that doesn't mean that this is going to run, okay? Because only one of these is going to run at a time. All right, so it gets down here, goes up. All right, this guy's idle. Do all this code, and then break out of there. Okay, so we will go through all these states, and maybe now we could go ahead and get rid of the default one. I don't think it's going to harm us if we don't have that for now. I guess we could get into an issue if we decided later on that we're going to add another state here, and then we forgot to put in that case. So it's up to you if you want to keep it or not. But let's go back to our game scene, and then change this to step state. And actually, we'll just pull this line out of here, and we'll paste it down here instead. So now that anytime that we touch the screen, we're going to step through that state. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to tap down here. All right, again, it tells me it's idle first. That's correct. Then I tap again, hurt, fire, idle, hurt, fire, and so on, like that. So it's just going through all of those various states for us. Oops, and yet again, I quit out of the simulator. It dumps you out on that screen over there. So in a moment, I'm going to wrap up this video and just immediately start a new one, because I actually haven't taught everything that I wanted to teach today. But just to end this one real fast, as kind of a lead into what we'll work with next. We'll do one little thing here in the update statement. Now keep in mind that this statement is going to run, well, it says it right here, called before each frame is rendered. Okay, so it's running at the frame rate, incredibly fast, of course. Probably, on a fast device, you're going to be doing this 60 times per second, so it's going to be doing a lot. We can test the state of or test our current state. So let's just go over here and write if bro node dot current state, and you might be tempted, hey, well, what if let's just do something like that, equals 0. Well, you're not, again, now you're going back to using those numbers again, which we want to try to avoid. We always want to just test, is he idle, is he hurt? Okay, and one way you can do that, there's probably another way, is type in here the class name, and then bro states, and then here they are, idle, hurt, fire. Okay, so if he's idle, do something inside of here, else, you could write an else if statement and test one of the other states, or you could just say else do nothing. So let's just put in here print, and actually probably it makes more sense to do nothing here, and then say not idle, do something for hurt or firing, right? And let's just give that a shot. So initially we should be seeing do nothing, all right? And we'll see that over and over again in the output window down here. Gives us a little bit more room to take a look at it. There it is, do nothing, do nothing, do nothing. And then when I tap on the screen, now it's not idle, do something for hurt or firing. And again, I'll tap one more time, still getting that same message because one of those two other conditions are true. He's either hurt or idle, and then I'll tap again, and sure enough, now it's going back to doing nothing. Okay, so let's close this out and start a new video where we play around more with the update statement and testing class types. So that means that we're going to have a couple different classes on the stage in just a moment.